What is up, everybody? It's your boy Bruce Wulfe back with you again in Earthfall. This time, joined by a special guest. We have one of the devs with us. What's up, Colin?
Hey, how's it going?
All right, so we also got Comrade inside with us here, and we're basically going to just ask some questions about what the plans are with Earthfall, and just generic questions about the game. Right? Sound about right?
Feel free to bring him on.
All right, let's do it.
Alrighty. So you guys got Gamescom coming up, right?
Yeah, so we have Gamescom, one of the largest gaming conventions in the world, which we are currently setting up and getting our travel booked and how our booth is going to be set up. And we're really excited to show Earthfall overseas. We really haven't had the opportunity to take it to Europe yet. So this will be the first time that most of the people in Europe will actually get their hands on it and see it in any type of setting that we represent. Like, other people have streamed it and things like that before, but this will be our first kind of like getting in there for the first time. We're really excited of opening up that entire market and just having people come and check it out, and having a lot of German beer while we're in Germany. So it'll be great.
That's totally a thing.
That's awesome.
So
Don't forget the Russians. They have good things too, and they would say "Хорошо" for bringing the game to them.
Yeah.
Just to make sure for all the viewers out there who are going to be able to go to Gamescom, if I do have this correct, it is from August 22nd to August 26th, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So it's starts. Public days is Wednesday to Saturday, and then Tuesday is a private press day, press business day. So,
gotcha.
But yeah, it is gigantic, middle of summer in the German country. Like, it is a great convention, really exciting. It is just a pressure cooker, though. It's an exciting event to go to if you ever have the opportunity, for sure.
Sounds like a blast to me. For those of you that haven't, for whatever reason, caught any of the footage Comrade or I have put up on our channels, Earthfall is a game. It's hard to describe. How would you describe the type of game it is?
So we're a competitive shooter. So I mean, or not competitive. Sorry, cooperative shooter. I've got my co's mixed up there. We're
Cyanide make it pretty competitive.
We're a cooperative shooter in the same veins of like Payday and Left 4 Dead and things like that. And so we're always been fans of those type of games, and we wanted to put our own spin on it. And so us as a team, we got together and found a lot of the things that we like about individual games, and kind of found things that we liked and merged it into the story setting that we have with Earthfall, which is very much an alien invasion kind of narrative scope. So, which is what we're looking at, which is some really exciting things of how things transpire and progress through the game. And we're really excited of showing that story off, as well as having people try some of these mechanics that we spliced into the game as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've gone fairly far in this story, and I will say one thing, this game is not easy. Yeah, you definitely got to be on point for it.
That's something we've gotten a lot of feedback with, is how the game can be pretty brutal at times, for sure.
You know what's funny, though, is that kind of reminds me of the old days when you didn't have those kind of guides or anything like that, and the games were really difficult and really hard.
Yeah, you have to throw sometimes you have to throw bodies at a situation to figure it out, but then you figure it out and you're like, man, that's cool. What a neat mechanic.
Indeed.
Yeah, we have a fair amount of our designers, like, we're a pretty experienced team. So even though that we're a new indie dev here in the Seattle area, a lot of the devs here have worked on games for probably 15 or 20 years. We've had people that worked on Fear, and like going all the way back to like No One Lives Forever, as well as other games. Like, people have worked on the Shadowrun first-person shooter and a bunch of other games that have come out of this kind of area. And so we have a lot of people that grew up on Quake and Doom and
Nice.
classic games like that. And so
it definitely comes through too.
Yeah, you can feel that in your game for sure.
So, and we're really excited about finding that balance of like teamwork, as well as just that pure chaotic mess that you can run into. We've been really excited of bringing that kind of difficulty and that kind of frantic behavior and gameplay back into the forefront.
Now, speaking of gameplay, there is one thing that you also mentioned was basically a storyline, which was mainly around an alien invasion. Are you planning on diving even deeper into that kind of a thing, or what is your plans?
We actually have a pretty robust story. I mean, we're kind of finding the appropriate ways to, like, we have a story doc that we've built out the entire universe in space and how things transpire, and then we're just trying to find the best way to use the game to kind of put that kind of narrative in place, finding the right places to express what's going on, like why are these people why are these aliens on Earth? How are they invading? What is their goal? Like things like that, you'll slowly just start to learn as you play the game. And especially when the second campaign becomes more available, a lot more will be explained through as you play.
Yeah, I've played a fair bit through it. Yeah, the story is awesome. It gets kind of deep towards. What was it? I can't remember which particular one it was, but there's a couple parts in there where I was like, oh, that's why. I get it. That's how I avoid spoilers right there. Pretend I forget everything. Yep. That's smooth that out.
So on those same lines, there you have 4 pretty diverse characters that the player can choose from to take through the story.
Mm-hmm.
In the future, do you guys have any plans for making those guys unique? Maybe one, the buff guy being more inclined for do more melee damage, and one's an explosive expert, etc.
It's something that we've explored with. I think right now, probably the approach that we would do is we have these characters that are set. I think the one thing that we talk about exploring is potentially adding more characters to the game, which is something that we would be really excited about. We're excited. Actually, the one thing talking about diversity is we actually are excited the fact of how diverse our character set is, and it pushes a more real life representation of what's going on in the world. And we're actually interested in taking that even further, especially considering that this is a alien invasion of the planet. That we want to make sure that we cover a lot of cross bases. I think putting more gameplay into those scenarios, it's something I think that we could potentially explore, but I don't want to say that anything is set in stone to go in that direction at this point yet, though.
Gotcha.
But it definitely is on the drawing board then.
Yeah, all those things are always on the table. If you come to our office, we have a whiteboard with kind of aspirations of where we would like to take things, and it just comes into time and resources, and also in just where what is the cost evaluation of, do we want to do this feature like that, and what will it actually potentially gain and improve the game versus is it better to bring in player character balancing, or is it better to do it another campaign kind of a thing? So it's just finding those kind of balances in place.
Gotcha.
On that same kind of main thought there, do you have ideas for other guns to add in, like maybe traps to throw down, anything like that?
Yeah, we actually are thinking a lot about more ways to cause mayhem and destruction for the player.
Excellent.
I like that. I like the idea of traps because that also can nail your buddies.
Yeah,
I just like mayhem. I'm a fan of mayhem personally.
Yeah, I'll say that we're experimenting with some ideas right now. So
all right.
We've gotten some really good feedback from fans, as well as this. The one thing that's actually been really rewarding for us, putting the game out there and watching the community play, is actually just watching the community play the game. And with platforms such as Twitch and YouTube and Mixer and things like that, it's to a certain degree, we're able to playtest to a certain degree, watch playtests, what traditionally would have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yes.
To go do legitimate playtest sessions and things like that, is we can just put the game out there and let people play it and get a lot of great feedback, as well as witness that feedback. We can actually watch it live and be like, oh wait, they never got that checkpoint, or they never saw this notification on the side, or hey, there's this great sequence where it would be great if there was a Molotov cocktail right here, and those type of things. Whenever a stream comes up, we have a TV in kind of the pod that most of the team sits in, and if anyone's live streaming the game and someone instantly runs to the television, turns it on, so the entire team can watch it.
Content creators, we're useful.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where we actually get. There's always ideas that we generate internally, things that we want to put into the game wholeheartedly, and then there's things that we'll just watch, and we'll be like, "Holy crap! Wouldn't it be cool if you could do this?" Just by watching other people play. And so that's been really exciting and rewarding. It's kind of changed. It give us some things to think about for the second campaign, as well as just in terms of the game in general, what we can add to it in the next couple months.
Now, one
Gotcha.
thing that
And
I do
talk
have
about
an
a-
idea. Go
Talk
ahead,
about a
sorry.
win-win. You also get together some pretty juicy metrics for the producers to say, hey, this is our popularity. This is the number of people that are playing it. We put it out here as early access, and it's already been downloaded X number of times. I mean, talk about a huge transition for the industry. Is that transition to we're going to go ahead and before it was, you get a finished product or a near finished product. Now it's we're going to put some early access out there, let people download it, and then refine off of their feedback. I think it's an amazing step in the right direction.
Yeah, it's one of the things that's actually really interesting, and we've seen it a little bit in our game, but we've seen, like, just in terms of watching the industry in general, is you can actually see in real time how your community reacts to certain changes. So hypothetically, like if we were to change like the strength of the shotgun, like we would be able to see almost instantaneously if that was a good decision or a bad decision, in having it stem all the way into like, are more people playing the game because we made changes X, Y, and Z versus are less people playing it because we made those type of changes? And do we need to roll back, or do we need to take this even further? So it's really exciting. And then going even further into like data analysis stuff, getting really geeky into that stuff. Like we have a whole server side to do things of like what's the most popular gun, like what's accuracy levels,
Dual wield pistols.
Dual wield pistol.
Yeah. Like we can find like we have all that type of metrics to be able to see like what people like in if we need to chase something, if something is too powerful, or if it's not powerful enough, and things like that, on top of just general designer feely type of stuff of
Really,
so,
I think they're
Could you imagine?
flamethrower. More
Oh, yeah.
flamethrowers
More
everywhere.
and could you
More flamethrower.
imagine the popularity of a Wulfe brother shield with a wolf head to go with the machete? Oh my goodness, that would instantly be a crowd pleaser.
we'll move into the next section of getting streamer individual items from the game.
That actually does bring up a interesting point as well, and it also has to do with feedback. Now, what is your folks' stance on getting not just feedback, but suggestions, ideas, and so on and so forth from the community? Do you have anything set up specifically for that? It's like, what type of new guns do you think would be good in the game, and ask the community?
I mean, we've done stuff like that before, in more of just a very kind of nebulous open fashion. Like we have our Steam section where people can go and tell us about issues or feedback that they have on the title. I think moving forward, one thing that we're doing moving forward is we're actually going to be, in the next couple months, we're actually going to be holding content off until a later date, but we are going to do things. We're going to be using like the Steam beta branch to a much more usable sense, in terms of like, hey, for the next 2 weeks, like we're going to release this beta build that's going to have some changes on it, as well as like potentially a new map per se, and use that as an opportunity to get feedback on, these aren't finalized, these aren't done, this is very much work in progress, but we want your feedback, community. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And potentially even taking it further, doing things like surveys and stuff, just so people can give us a better idea, and also vocalize. Like forum, I love forums. I think forums are really fun. You get a lot of great information, and people have the ability to share their feedback, but they are a little bit not the best in terms of structured feedback per se.
That's fair.
So
Yes.
so yeah, so getting into a much more of a system of it being of putting something out there and getting structured feedback is something that we're totally exploring. And just in general, like we listen to our Twitter account, where like I'm on there all the time. If anyone mentions HoloSpark, like the Steam forums, like our entire QA department is on it all the time. We recently just added in the feature within our own kind of tools internally of any feature or bug or requests or anything that comes from the community, we mark it within our own tools. So, and if that comes back as fixed or like added to the game, that we can instantly figure out who was the one to suggest that, and also give that person like kudos, like in like the patch notes of like, yeah, like the Wulfe brothers, they were the ones that recommend this, so we want to make sure that they're the ones that get the attention for it. So we're looking at doing that, of really making the community feel like they're participating with the development process.
And that's at HoloSpark, right?
Yeah,
That's Wulfe brother with an E.
Yeah.
But that, you touch on that, but that is just another amazing amalgam of this new environment where you're really partnering with the players and making changes in real time. I just, it has, we've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of this so far, but I think y'all's approach is spot on, and I applaud you for it, because that's where I know all three of us would like to see the industry go that direction, and so kudos to that.
Yeah, no, thanks. I mean, we're learning as we go. I mean, a lot of this stuff it's uncharted to a certain degree. So we're learning just as fans. I mean, we're giving the fans the opportunity to have their voice be heard. Developers are changing their practices to make gamer feedback to be more impactful, instead of it just being a box copy and it's out there and you get what you get, of actually participating in the process at a much deeper level.
It also establishes a little bit more of a connection between players and the game they're playing.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this years and years ago, like I worked on some higher profile games and stuff, and like being in those type of atmospheres, like you're dealing with people only buy like 3 or 4 games a year. Like they buy their Grand Theft Auto, they buy their Call of Duty, and they buy like Madden, and then there's like one other game that they could potentially buy, and you're fighting for that kind of a position. And you need to be relatable. You need to be friendly. You need to make that emotional connection with your audience. However, if it's a small audience or if it's a massive audience that's selling 20 million units, like you need to build that rapport with your fan base, which is something that we're really trying to really understand and really work with our fans to make sure that they know that their feedback is much appreciated.
All right, I want to pull it back a little bit here. So you've dropped a couple hints about this new campaign, and what can you tell us about it?
So the new campaign, I can't tell you too much, but I will go into there'll be more traps, more guns, bigger explosions, maybe a little bit more from like the alien perspective of getting a little bit deeper into what's actually going on with this invasion.
It's an alien perspective. I immediately imagined playing as an alien.
I won't go that far. I won't. I'm not confirming or denying that, but it's probably the better is getting deeper into exactly what is going on. Probably a good way to put it is we watch a lot of alien movies, like alien invasion movies, and so things of like Edge of Tomorrow and things like that, of just really understanding of like, what exactly is this species actually here for, and why are they here, and what's their goals, what's their objectives?
Obviously, they're here for pizza.
They're here for pizza.
I mean, obviously,
here for pizza. If they're here for pizza, then they should have like landed in New York instead of Washington. But that's
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the way we've been assaulted in the game, I think we taste like pizza, and that's why. Yeah, that's why they're here.
That's entirely possible. I mean, we do come with our own marinara sauce in this game, so
it's spicy.
I did have one question.
Go ahead.
For the traps and whatnot. I mean, right now we have the barricades and whatnot, correct? Mm-hmm. Is there any other? I wouldn't say like building mechanics, because I do play a lot of building type games. But are you planning on bringing anything like that similar into the game?
That's the type of stuff that we're actually experimenting with.
Like a survival mode?
I mean, we're thinking of like we're experimenting with those type of things, of where we have the traditional campaign that we're building. We're thinking about how we can potentially extend it out of there into other kind of game mechanics, as well as in terms of like traps and stuff like that. We're always dreaming up situations of things that could cause chaos in gameplay, and that could be really fun and exciting. It's just finding the appropriate way to have it like pretty much added to the game without necessarily disrupting the entire title. And so that's more like the weird thing of things like balance. Like, I mean, we'd love to go like put like a nuclear bomb type of a weapon in a situation, but that kind of like defeats, like you get that in the first level and it's like, okay, the game's over with, like game over.
What about like a laser beam? Can we get a little pew pew action?
Oh, so yeah, that's an excellent idea. You could steal some alien technology, maybe.
Yeah, I think those are the type of things that either it be through like playing, watching people play, or just being like inspired by like other forms of media and stuff like that. Like we have a laundry list of like devices and tech and things like that that we would love to integrate within the title. And I think it's just finding those appropriate balance of like, hey, this one actually works. And the one thing that's really interesting about the design cycle is having an idea, prototyping it out there, and then putting it into practice and realizing that it totally sucks.
But you learn from those mistakes.
Yeah,
so.
we totally learn from those mistakes. So we're trying to figure out what would be the best and funnest things to add to the title and stuff. So, and those come from any side whatsoever. So I mean, those come from, like I said, from other games, from like other movies, to it being amalgamations of a bunch of different ideas and stuff. I would say, like, without explaining exactly what there are, we've had situations where like 3 items will be prototyped and stuff from individually, they all suck. But then we take like, well, wouldn't it be cool if this one was merged with that one, and then we made a weapon with them together? So it's kind of like not that we have this in the game, but it's kind of like a sticky grenade situation where it's like we're merging a couple different things together, and we're coming out with a really cool idea that actually makes the game really fun and has a real tangible feel of difference of like, this is awesome to use, or this is exciting and stuff. So that's always really fun to see us get to that point.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because that's how most of our games go. It's one of us saying, I'm about to do something dumb, and then the other one running in and saving the day. And then between those two chaotic moments, magic happens. It's a beautiful thing. One or the other would end in utter defeat and,
hilarity,
breaking madness. But the two together, it works.
All right.
It's a peanut butter and jelly situation.
Yeah.
Like they're both good to like individually, but they're great together. So
Yeah.
Love it.
All right, man. You got any last points you want to make before we wrap it up here?
No, I mean, so Earthfall is currently in early access. You can pick it up on Steam for $14.99.
Links will be in the descriptions of both videos.
Yeah, everything is there you need. Like, we'd love to get some more player feedback. I mean, we have more content that we're going to be teasing out over the later this year, and then next year we are coming to consoles and things like that. So we have a lot going on. We're really excited about the title. We think it's also a genre that the kind of cooperative 4-person game is. There just isn't a lot of options out there for people, and we think that we've built a really fun game for people just to go kill 2 hours with your friends and go blow up some aliens. That's one of the more fun things to do. So
Yeah.
We're really excited about the title. We're happy to get in people's hands and excited to get people's feedback.
Outstanding.
And we're excited to play it. So if you guys haven't checked this out yet, it is an amazing game. It is a lot of fun. There is content. You can watch some videos on both Comrades and my channels. We had a blast playing together. We got our butt kicked pretty hard at most of the videos up. Yeah, quite a few times. But that was part of the fun of it. It is it's challenging. It makes you think, makes you strategize. You can also just go completely berserker and dual wield pistols and run into the crowd of swarm of aliens like I've done.
I personally prefer the machete, but I would really like to try to find a katana.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Katana, and then whatever you don't have, you can just print out your own weapon. So
That's true.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, guys. So if you have any questions for the devs, feel free to leave a comment on either Comrade or my video, and we will tweet at them. And feel free to tweet at them yourself at HoloSpark. And yeah.
I have nothing else. Do either you have anything left?
No, it's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day. All right, everybody, make sure you square up with that like button, like it's your favorite hater. Of course, hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Don't know why you wouldn't. And yeah, leave us those comments, and we will see all of you guys next time. Later.
Take care now.
See ya.
thanks, guys. Bye.